Well, yes, to all of those, but it was the one with the guy
shows his penis at the end.
Yeah.
That's Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tim, you didn't walk in with the wig and then expose yourself to the entire party and tell them this is what you're all missing.
That's what made it like Sleepaway Camp. Because I walked in and did that at the reception.
Tim created an authentic experience for everyone.
Yeah. I grabbed the mic from the lead singer of the band and I said, have you guys ever seen Sleepaway Camp? And everyone said, no, what is that? And then I went, hey.
Okay, welcome back to Hold My Popcorn. I'm Max Sealy in Nashville. Got a full house today, so with us in Boston is Tim Begin. How are you, Timmy boy?
Fantastic, Max. I've been shown what a boring motherfucker I am this past weekend, and I think it's good for everyone to see that. You know what I mean? Well, you guys have already seen it, but it's good for me to see it. So that's how I'm doing, Max.
Living that missionary lifestyle right there. When I say missionary, I mean missionary position.
What other positions are there? I'm genuinely asking this question.
It's missionary and get off of me. Those are the two positions.
Typically, those are the same position. For me.
Typically, it's
get off, and that's enough.
Okay, I'm good. All right, and also we have a resident box dwelling lawyer, Mike Preble. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, Max, as well as my career, based on how fantastic this box is going. You know.
Or
yes. All is well, Max. It's the twilight of summer here, which is good for me because that means all you fucking tourists are leaving. So my roundabouts aren't full of people from New Jersey and otherwise just fucking things up. So they're really the saddest part of my day.
New Jersey, is that who's filling up the Cape? Is it people from
I
really?
shit you not. There are people that they're like, I don't want to go to the Jersey Shore. I want to go to fucking Cape Cod. And I'm like, no, you have things. You have waves there. Stay there.
You have boardwalks. We don't have those.
Yeah, I was going to say a boardwalk is a fantasy here. It's like just you can stay there with your gabagool. Don't have time for this.
You can get a fucking HJ under a boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know.
And Bruce Springsteen's out in a boardwalk right now singing something.
He's crooning about the American dream and how far away it is from our reality. It's great. It's mesmerizing.
Right. Before he gets in his limo and goes back to his gated community mansion.
Damn right.
Mm-hmm.
Like a true American icon. Working man's icon.
Sell out.
Yeah. How dare you?
Well, we're not talking about Bruce Springsteen, but also in Portland, Maine, we got Bill Dooley. How are you, Billy boy?
I've been better. I'm tired.
Good. Okay, moving on.
Pooping a lot today. It's raining.
I've been watching Bill for the past 7 minutes. His hands just constantly, like, reflexively, like, going under his eyes. He's just like wiping away, just trying to like get himself psyched up for this.
Did you say pooping a lot today, Bill?
Pooping a lot today. Yeah, I'm not feeling so good.
Oh, nice.
A lot of poops.
A lot of poops.
Nice.
Been hanging out any
tell me about it.
Well, no, Tim, no, thank you. Max, what'd you say?
Has he been hanging out with any monkeys?
No monkeys, monkeys. So I don't think it's the monkeypox, but you never know. Who knows? Children are vectors of disease, so probably.
Went to a petting zoo. All of a sudden, I feel bad. I don't know what's going on. And lastly, over in Baltimore, we're welcoming back John Anoshak. How are you, John?
Good, man. I'm a little upset because I need to talk to my landlord about the 2 piles of human shit in the back bunker.
So you know,
I have to say, I just couldn't control myself today.
So you came all the way down on steamship?
I just had to go somewhere else.
Well, I have to say you had manners. I can tell which one was yours because it was left on top of some cardboard so it could be easily thrown out.
Exactly. I'm considerate. I'm a considerate public pooper.
Right? Yeah. Here I am. It's Baltimore, the Windy City.
Now, have you discussed with any of your neighbors, John, if like they also have frequent poops or shits? I should say it's a proper term, shits around their house.
Well, so the thing is like everybody else who has something like that has installed like big giant metal bars and big chain link, wire locks to keep people out because if it's open here, it's apparently just going to get shit on.
Really? So it's basically like
Yuck. That's
Nice.
Yuck. Gross.
It's the Lord of the Flies out here, bro. Yeah, right.
You know where those flies are going, too.
I thought this might have
Too
been
poop.
like, remember that scene from The Other Guys where like Adam McKay and all those guys always pile into Will Ferrell's Prius and like have a big gay orgy? I thought this was like the case. I thought this is the case of like John's little like backyard alcove. It's just like, no, we're gonna go to your like little stairway down to your basement and shit in there.
So the fun part about that is I would be able to watch it because my bedroom shares a wall and some windows with this little outdoor alcove. So if I heard that, that would just basically consist of me with my cell phone light going, get out, just go away.
Scatting.
With like a water bottle spraying it at them.
Yeah, go. Bad crackhead. No. I've chased two people away getting ready to do a line of something before.
Jesus Christ.
That's a bad idea.
And they were upset. They were upset with me because they're like, no one's ever down there. I was like, what the fuck? All right. So
Just
this-
a power spot.
This episode is brought to you by the Tourism of Baltimore. Visit Baltimore.
Chamber of Commerce.
The city of brotherly
Just
love.
go there.
the city that spares no shit.
The Sunshine State. Baltimore. We're a state now. All right.
The city
Well,
that never-
we're rolling along in our time travel series, and this week we watched arguably the most popular time travel movie of all time, the nostalgic 1985 incest family-friendly classic, Back to the Future.
What a movie.
Indeed.
The first movie that gave you a boner about kissing your mom.
But not the last.
Yeah, but not the last.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So Max,
It's true.
I have to say, yeah, just one thing to kick off here. When we did E.T. and you explained to me like Steven Spielberg's like early career is basically just about him like working through his parents' divorce. I'm like, wow, this movie makes total sense now. Because I feel like there's a bunch of trivia you have that's probably going to touch on this subject, but I'm like, this made total sense to me, this movie.
Yeah, I wonder if Spielberg added the incest part in. So he didn't write it; he just produced it. Like Zemeckis is one of his buddies, and he just said, like, if I put my name in front of it, this will sell. Like, I'm going to get
Right.
you a good movie. But
I imagine that he also said, "Hey, make this kind of weird about your mom."
I mean, I don't know if this is the time to do it, but it's not essential to the storyline either. I mean, like, he could have just broke up the meeting of his mom and dad without there being a sexual interest between him and his mom. Like, that could have still happened, and he could
But
have still
how are
been-
you going to sell tickets, Bill? Did you even think about how you're going to get people engaged and come to see a 1985 rom-com between a son and a mother trying to fucking bone each other?
love triangle between a father, son, and a mother.
And mother. I just love this. It's pitched as like family fun. And I mean, I've seen this movie countless times. And even as like a young adult, and it like, I don't know why, but it always like washed over me. It's like, oh, that's kind of funny. Like his mom is attracted to him because he doesn't know. And then after a while, I'm like, no, this is fucking terrible. This is absolutely horrific. So it's like she is just like gunning for his dick the entire movie. And it's like,
Aggressively.
whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Super thirsty.
Extremely.
Get
Yeah.
borderline rapey in the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like grabbing. It's like, no.
Gratuitous rape all throughout. There's like
It's rape or be
This
raped.
is a Viking movie. I mean, my God, we have two completely separate situations where one, it's just, well, we get closer to rape than the other one. But the problem is
predator
that we all
and-
had to watch this.
Oh my
We had
god!
to watch this together with our families and probably make eye contact with our mothers, like at the same time, because we were all that age. Like, let's go see the, as you said, Rebel, the family film.
Yeah.
Let's get some popcorn.
Isn't this great?
No,
we can all
no.
see this together.
Not to mention that's not even the only sex crime in this movie with the peeping Tom dad too, which is just like apparently
God.
hilarious. That's just
and
funny
the
now.
stuff
and the
I
car
don't
rape
wanna
by
know.
Biff.
Or the molesting by Biff in
Yeah.
the cafeteria in front of everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I will
Yeah.
say, I am a big fan of, voyeurism, just being like, oh, he's a peeping Tom. It's like, nah, he's just watching you change from a tree, like an idiot, like a tree that's hanging over like a main road. And no one's like, well, this is peculiar. What's George doing up there? No, just binoculars,
Birding. Because that's what birders do. They climb
Yeah,
into the tree with binoculars.
It's just insane. It's just so crazy. That's what I mean. Like, I've seen this movie so many times. Like, as a kid, I was like, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. And only as I get older, I'm like, this whole movie is totally fucked.
That was my
This
takeaway from the rewatch. Like, love this movie. I still do, but like, I can't help but watch it and be like, oh God. No, this is like, oh, terrible. This is bad.
So you got a lot of problems here.
Bad.
Spying on women in the 80s, totally normal. Not a crime whatsoever.
Well,
That
it's
is
in
another
so
way.
many movies. I like panty parties or stuff like that, or panty raids or whatever. Stuff like what's the movie with Nerds Revenge
Porky's.
or
Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Porky's.
So,
Animal
so
House.
the writer,
Animal House. Like,
the writer of this movie is Bob Gale, who wrote and directed Porky's. So it makes more sense when you're just like, just peepholes and sticking your dick
A nice
in them.
fetish.
what is Porky's? Is that like a VHS porno? Like what?
Oh,
Basically. No, man. Dude. Oh my God, it made so much fun. I'm looking it up right now. Came out in 81. I've never seen it. It's just escapades of 50s horny teenagers. It said the budget was $4 to $5 million and it made 160.
Holy shit.
Good for them.
Oh my God!
Talking about thirsty.
It's
Jesus.
the Blair Witch of fucking porno. It's fantastic.
I mean,
Shoestring budget.
This is what movies were before you had Pornhub easily accessible.
Yep.
Exactly.
So let's just slip in this mom trying to fuck her teenage kid into a PG movie.
Why not?
Zang.
So the first scene of Back to the Future is someone's mom trying to fuck their future son. And what do you do with that? First scene of the movie.
You don't do much. You just sit there and you think. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Could you
God.
imagine that on the first draft? What do you mean we don't lead with this?
Of course we
No,
are.
you got to draw them in. You got to draw the crowd in.
You got to warm them up to the
With
incest.
We can't have you write this movie, Mr. Lucas. You will have me write this movie.
You will give me a Diet Pepsi.
The mom will be under 18.
Yeah. I think Marty should go a little further back. I think she should be 11. Ugh.
I think everyone likes that. Right?
So, should we get into it?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a good, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes before we get into all the incestual shit. So, some padding. Don't you wait, boys. We'll get back to
It's a
it.
surprisingly long movie. I thought this was going to be like a breezy, hour and a half tops.
That's what I thought, too.
Yeah,
It's
no.
2 hours.
It's 2 hours. It just flies by. It's just, there's no fat on this
Because
movie.
of the incest. I just get drawn into the story.
Truth be told, they spent a lot of time on the incest.
Yep.
Yes.
Incest
A
and rape.
surprising amount of time.
I mean, yeah, they cultivated that relationship. There was three separate scenes dedicated to Marty's mom getting wet over Marty.
Like, noticeably losing breath over it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Every
like
single
when
one of her
breathing.
bodily functions.
yeah, like during the last scene of this, 3-scene sequence, someone goes, "Where does he live?" And she goes, "I'm gonna find out." like she was Robert De Niro on Cape Fear.
Yeah, it's a weird future thing where there's just a bunch of Calvin Klein tattoos all over her body that she has to explain for.
Yeah,
Your name's Calvin.
exactly.
It's written all over your underwear. Shut up. Jesus Christ.
All right, so we open up with Marty plugging into Doc Brown's amp system and getting whipped back like Timmy with the electrical fence in Jurassic Park. And then Marty gets a call from Doc Brown requesting Marty to meet him at the Twin Pine Mall at 1:15 a.m.
Another thing that 80s movies loved is the Rube Goldberg type machines, the things that just automate and do crazy steps, and just love opening up on that with the 100 different clocks and the machine that's feeding the dog, and that's good
great.
stuff.
That and rock and roll, man. Kids love it.
Rock and roll.
Every protagonist has to be like an amazing guitarist as well.
It's true.
They have to be. Otherwise, they have no personality. So it's like, okay, great. I love it.
Power of Love, such a good opening song too.
It is, though.
It's
He was
great.
knowing what to do.
Yeah,
right
he
there.
was not going to
Good.
skip out after Ghostbusters. They asked him to do Ghostbusters. He said no. So then they just ripped off a Huey Lewis song to the point that he sued them and won. And then he probably saw how much money that guy made. He's like, oh, fuck. Like, I need to do this. So
this needs to be my thing now.
Yeah. So I guess the first song he did, they didn't like. So he's like, okay, I'll write 2 more. And then those are the 2 that are in the movie, which are both great.
Don't need money.
But so many Easter eggs and just like exposition and character building just in this one scene before you even meet anybody. Because you have like all those glitching inventions. You got the front page of the Hill Valley newspaper saying that the Brown Mansion was destroyed in a fire. And then like the next clipping says that Doc sold off like 435 acres because he was bankrupt. And then you got like photos of inventors, shit ton of clocks, the local news talking about the Libyan terrorist group claiming responsibility for stolen plutonium, which you then see under Doc's bed. So it's like they've already set up like 25 minutes worth of shit just right up front in like a good 30 seconds.
You know what I caught for the first time there was that there was one of the clocks had a person hanging from the clock dials.
Yeah,
like Doc does later. I've never seen that before. Yeah,
very cool.
I'm just super impressed that we all had the ability to notice all of these Easter eggs when we were children watching it for the first time. Who was it there for? Was it they just know how awesome this movie was going to be?
And that people would rewatch it? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I know who was there. It was there for Max.
Yeah.
Solely Max.
just for Max.
This cat's going to be born in like 4 years. And he's going to really want to do a podcast. Okay.
And he's going to pick up on all of this.
It's a smart move. Once you watch a movie 100 times, you got to look at stuff that you haven't noticed before. So that's what I was doing.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Yes, otherwise, why the fuck am I watching this? I already know every single scene of this movie. Yep. So Marty, he learns that he's late for school.
We've already covered while we're watching it. In depth.
I insist. Yep. Marty learns he's late for school as we cue the Huey Lewis song, Power of Love, with Marty skateboarding his way through this Universal movie set.
I love how he learns he's late. He's late all the time.
He's been late every day this week.
It's like you don't learn it. You just don't want to be at school all the time. It's not oh my goodness, I'm late for my classes, my studies. He's like, yeah, I'm fucking late and I skateboard around town.
Yep.
He was also at Doc's house, apartment, whatever, for like 5 minutes tops.
Oh,
How
yeah.
was it Doc's fault that the clocks were 25 minutes slow? You had no idea what time it was. You should never have been there in the first place.
You
The number
still
of
would have
cars
been
you
late
had to
by
hitch
20
ride-
minutes, Marty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's absurd.
Yeah. You left when you should have left for school, Marty, and then you just went in the other direction just so you could jam out, and that didn't work out either.
And you blame
Doc!
an old man.
Are you telling me it's 8:25?
I need to get a watch.
Golly.
So this town center in the Universal backlot, it's called Courthouse Square, and it's been in a bunch of shit. So it was in the first episode of The Twilight Zone, To Kill a Mockingbird, like the TV show The Incredible Hulk, Gremlins from the year prior, which it looks exactly like Hill Valley and Gremlins. It's funny. The Monster Squad, Nutty Professor, and then also like Jingle All the Way and Batman and Robin. So we got 2 Arnie movies in 2 straight years.
Wow. Max, I don't think you understand unless it has to do with incest. You don't give a fuck.
I second
Cut
this
to the
motion.
chase, Max.
Well, I'm sure some of those gremlins were related. They're probably fucking each other.
Well, you know.
Is Arnie fucking his son? Is Arnold fucking his son?
I don't want to see
think
it.
The disparity in success of those movies, though, is interesting to me. Like Batman and Robin. Whoa.
Yep.
Compared to this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
That is true.
I love how Hill Valley is just such a shithole. Like, there's like porn theaters and like pawn shops and like rundown, like closed buildings, like all over the place.
Yeah.
Probably because the mall took all the business away from the center.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I think is amazing is this is like a trope of the 80s. 80s were like, our time sucks. Like, shouldn't we go back to the 50s? Aren't like the 50s amazing? And they like, fantasize it. And like, meanwhile, like
everyone's
the 80s
getting
suck,
raped in the 50s.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what I love. It's like everyone thinks the 80s. I'm like, yeah, the 80s do suck. You know what also sucks? The 50s.
Yeah.
The 50s also sucked. Like really badly.
Yep.
Like not a time to live.
Well, seriously, half the country has PTSD. The other half are just fucking dead,
Yeah.
or just ran off to North Korea after that ended up. But also, like, the 80s are so fucked up. At the beginning where they have the little newscast thing going on, they're like, well, some, weapons grade plutonium just fell off the back of a truck. We think terrorists took it. Also this for this news hour, a shit ton of cocaine just washed up on a Florida beach. Like,
what beach?
Crazy is crazy.
That's what Doc was actually using the time machine for.
I'm going to control the cartels, Marty.
Right.
All the cartels are going to come to me, Marty.
I mean, look at that hair. Look at that hair. He's high in his own supply, dude.
Yeah. So then we're introduced to Mr. Strickland, who slaps Jennifer and Marty with a tardy slip before telling Marty that he's a worthless piece of shit, just like his useless father.
I thought it was interesting.
I really liked this.
Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
The monster.
No, I just wanted to say I really liked him. He was fantastic. He just beat every child's hope down right back into their stomach. Like, oh, you want to be unique? Fuck you. Oh, you want to actually find love? Fuck you. You actually want to pass a class? You're not allowed to pass classes. Like, this guy, anytime anybody was happy, you just fucking shit down their neck. He
has the same disposition in 1955 as he has in 1980. It's the exact same.
Except he's got a little more hair in 55.
Yeah, just a little bit, but he's basically the same person. Yep. He hasn't changed in 30 years.
Which I love.
That's subtly like a hilarious joke because they do all kinds of like aging, de-aging on the other actors, and that guy they do like next
like
to
nice
nothing.
The same.
Yep. School administrative people are always old, cranky sons of bitches, and that's it.
Never young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like taking their fucking vitamins, though. It keeps them. They live forever. How the fuck do you think Dick Cheney's still alive?
They're so salty, it's literally preserving them. Yeah. Also, what the fuck?
Halliburton, that's how he's alive.
What the fuck did the McFly family do to the Strickland family for him to just be this like hell-bent on Marty? He's literally touching noses like, you fucking piece of shit.
Well, because it's not like his dad was memorable. His dad was like the biggest nerd, like nothing in the school.
Yeah, he wasn't even a slacker. He was doing other people's work.
Right, exactly.
He did Biff's homework.
It would kind of make sense if he had like they'd set something up in the past where he like embarrasses him or something like that. But nope, nothing. He's just a really angry guy about the McFlys.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It turns out Mr. McFly fucked his wife when they were in school together.
George's dad did, yeah.
Hey, Mr. Strickland. I put my hands on your wife. And she liked it.
Hair flip.
Yeah, hair flip.
Yeah, hair flip. Yeah, I was gonna say, great hair. Yeah.
He's got like he's got that like predates emo hair by like a good 50 years too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's looking good.
Yeah, it was fucking Hitler's haircuts, guys. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was fucking Hitler's haircut. All right, like, it's exactly what it was.
Sans mustache.
Yeah, he looked like the lead singer of Arcade Fire. Marty, he then comes home to see that Biff totaled his dad's car, which Marty had planned on using this weekend to fuck Jennifer in. So this is where we meet Biff for the first time in all of his bloated glory as well.
Yeah. The lake. God, what about the lake? Oh, my goodness.
I was really counting on this, Dad.
Do you have any idea how much this meant to me? Oh, God, shut up. The car is total. There are other things going on here. Your dad's a piece of shit. Fucking
Get a job.
Jesus Christ.
I know, I love it. It's like your dad can't go to work now, so now your whole family's going to be more poor. It's like, quit it. Like, let's focus here.
Yeah.
It's like, but I wanted to get boned at the lake, but not by my mother.
You're
not yet. Not yet.
Not this time, anyways.
Just hold on.
Tom Wilson is so good in this movie, though. Like I think he got typecast as a bully after this, which is funny because I've listened to interviews with him, and I guess in real life, when he was in high school, he was bullied. Like he was a dork. Like he does like musical comedy for when he does his stand-up acts. Like the guy's kind of a dork in real life, like very nice and friendly, and he's just like the ultimate asshole douchebag.
He's so good at it. It's
so
such
good.
I mean, it's such a good quintessential bully, like the knocking him on the head, like, why, anyone home? Like, hilarious stuff.
I spilled beer all over me when I crashed into that car. Who's going to pay for my dry cleaning?
Yeah. Hilarious line.
Some good gaslighting before gaslighting was a thing.
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't tell me about that blind spot. How could you lend me a car without telling me about a blind spot?
You only got light beer in the fridge for me?
Exactly.
I bring your car all the way
I
back.
tow your car all the way back to your house.
Yeah.
Who's going to pay for this dry cleaning?
That's
So good. All right. So then we have the TV dinner scene at the house where Uncle Joey doesn't make bail once again. And Marty's alcoholic mom, Lorraine, recalls the first time she and George met.
Well, George just laughs at, what is it? Abbott and Costello bit or something, like Laurel and Hardy bit or something.
Yeah, it's like Laurel Hardy.
Yeah.
It's like the one he's seen like a billion times. He's just like slapping the table.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
Also,
It's like, sure.
also, like Lorraine's like, "What were you doing in that tree anyway, George?" He's like, "What?"
Ooh, God.
Like this is still unsaid and could still fracture their marriage in Twade. You know?
It's so tense. It's so tense the entire time.
It's like, man, if Lorraine ever sobered up, she would definitely leave me.
That's for sure.
The look in her eyes when she says, "That's when I
Oh my
knew
God.
I'd spend the rest of my life with him." The way she is just dead inside, that is just painful to watch.
The look
Yeah.
of disappointment on her face after she finishes that sentence, and then he's just going like,
Well, we're all going to see that look. Probably around 2030. I think we'll all start seeing that look.
No, Tim. What I was going to say is this scene wasn't funny for me anymore because I've seen that look across the table already.
Well, you're more at an advanced stage, Bill. You have two young children, so
Did you enjoy your half of our beer, honey?
Max and Nikki are still like jet setting around the world. You know, it's like Bill is
I've got two whole boxes.
right.
Two, count them.
Bill's competing with Francis for the car keys.
You don't know how real that is. That's a real argument.
Francis is like, "But I want to fuck Jennifer down by the lake." It's like, "No, Francis, you're too young to drive."
You cannot get in that car alone with your mother.
You missed the whole point of this film, so I sat you down here to watch it.
So no car for you.
Every person has a Freud complex, and they don't give a shit about it. So, okay. All right, I guess.
Also, Crispin Glover and Leah Thompson do a great job of playing like these just burnt out parents because both of them are younger than Michael J. Fox. They're both younger than all the kids, actually.
Oh
Like
yeah.
Crispin Glover was 21, Leah Thompson was 24, and Michael J. Fox was 24.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah,
They did a good job with that.
they do a great job.
It's not the best makeup for aging, but it's good. It's good.
It's good enough for
Yeah.
Oh,
a
yeah.
40-year-old movie. So then we're introduced to Doc Brown at the Twin Pine Mall, who reveals reveals and successfully tests his new DeLorean time machine before realizing that the Libyan terrorists that he ripped off have found him.
How did they find me? They're Libyan terrorists. How did they find you in the first place, you dumb shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this bumblefuck town of, it's like,
Yeah.
it's not like it's LA or New York. It's like you're in some weird suburb. It's like,
You're famous in this one place. They found you, and then you didn't move. So how did they find you? They went back to your hometown.
How does Doc Brown get wrapped up with Libyan terrorists in the first place? I know he wanted the plutonium, but is that I know of Craigslist. Is that like a newspaper clipping? Is there like a classified ad looking for like a nuclear bomb maker? I just don't understand how he got wrapped up in that.
No dark web back then.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we saw in Terminator 1 that you can look up anybody, in the yellow pages. So
That's true. It's a good point.
and there probably was like under L Libyan terrorist group. You could just dial them, collect like
Seeking plutonium.
Yeah. The LLF,
Yeah.
Libyan Liberation Front. Oh, okay. That's an 800 number.
crazy professor looking for loose Libyans. It's like, okay, great. Love it. This is an amazing.
I was actually looking for something else, but if you guys got plutonium, I'll take
yeah,
that
plutonium,
too.
I guess I'll take it. All right, sure.
Here's a bunch of springs in just plastic in a bag. It's a bomb. Here you go, guys.
Best of luck.
Yep. I'll be at the Twin Pine Mall at 1:15 on Thursday. Whoops, I shouldn't have told you that. Yeah, so the terrorists, they shoot Doc dead with Marty jumping in the car and accidentally escaping and traveling back to 1955, where instead of crashing into a mall kiosk, he crashes into a scarecrow and then the Peabody barn. I had a combination of farm and barn, so I said farm.
Farm.
Yep.
Barn.
Mm-hmm.
Equally good.
Yep. I'm great at reading too,
Equally good.
especially when
One thing I did pick up on this scene was the Peabodys in their like oak trees or their pine trees or whatever, right?
The pine tree.
Yeah.
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 Well, the whole thing
Me
is
pine tree.
you bastard! You ruined my pine. Well, Tim, there's a whole thing is the Twin Pine Mall, and then when they go back into like the present day 1985, it's just called the Lone Pine Mall.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. So
That's
good.
awesome. That's fucking hilarious.
I love how Doc considers the idea of breeding pines to be a crazy idea, and yet he spent 30 years wasting his entire family fortune trying to create a time machine in a car.
Had a shitty car, a
It's a
shitty
pretty-
defunct car.
Again,
Yeah.
a DeLorean, which even at the time they were like, this car is fucking useless.
Yeah.
Like, that's the joke. It's like, God, what a waste of a car in 1985.
John DeLorean actually
Yeah,
tried
they
to save
made
the
a bunch-
DeLorean through selling cocaine.
And he failed.
He did.
That's what the big trunk space was for. They didn't sell 7,000 of them. They made all of these, sold a bunch of. There were 7,000 just left. Everyone was like, "No, done.
It's like, no, thank
Not
you.
even go near it."
Yeah. No good. Yeah, so Marty, thinking that this is all just one big nightmare, he drives home to find that Lion Estates hasn't been built yet. So then he walks to the now pristine and wholesome 1950s downtown Hill Valley, where Marty runs into his high school age dad as well as a young Biff.
Mr. Sandman.
Yeah.
Bring me a dream.
Again, the 50s are perfect. Nothing is ever wrong in the 1950s.
Well, they are
Nostalgia.
perfect if you're a white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed.
You and Goldie Wilson.
Yep.
I like the sound of that.
Well, also, the Sandman song is about drinking yourself to sleep. Mr. Sandman, bring me a drink. Really?
It's a dream? I thought it was dream.
Bring me
Valiant
a dream.
dream.
Bring me a dream.
Dream.
Dream? Fuck. Guys, let me have my
John.
No.
Yeah, I've been listening to songs all different.
John's been singing that one since he's like 12.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a
me
drink.
a
a
drink.
glass and a bottle.
Yeah, walking into his bedroom, Mr.
Whiskey without any ice. Bum, 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 bum.
Perfect.
Let's
Just bring
Bud
some
Light,
Chili
Coors
Sea
and
Bass.
Miller.
Chili and sea mask is good. What?
Chili and sea bass. Oh, Paca.
Who thinks this is a dish?
Who thinks chili and sea bass is good?
Yes. This idiot here, am I right, guys? It's like, oh no. Delicious. Iced chili
It's
and
still the funniest moment of this entire podcast history.
First 10 minutes
By
of
a
the show
long
ever.
Chili and sea bass. I forgot about that.
Who
I
would
gotta
do
go back
that?
I gotta go back and listen.
No, nobody, because it's not a real thing, Derek.
No one, because it's Chilean sea pass.
Too good.
Whenever Derek sees
Love
it on a menu, he'll take a picture and send it to us too.
I know, I would love it. Oh, I would kill myself. I would be so amazing.
Alejandro. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it. 10 out of 10. No notes.
So a few things in this scene. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. The mayor that they're advertising for is Red, the homeless guy in 1985.
Really?
Oh, no, I hadn't noticed that.
Really?
Brutal. Welcome to the 80s, you dummy.
You got Billy Zane as one of Biff's goons in the
I did
background.
notice that.
Yep.
Yes, we love Billy Zane.
With hair. Also, I just love how
Surprise.
the gas station, like they have 4 attendants for every car that comes out. It's like and then you go to the future. It's like that is 4 jobs that don't exist anymore in this town.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's nobody working at that shop.
It's called self-serve.
Yes.
I went to a
not New
gas
Jersey.
station that was full serve recently, and I got out and tried to it couldn't work it because it was like locked. It's full serve, like only the attendant can do it. And I'm like, what the hell's going on with this? And then some guy came up. He's like, you want some gas? I'm like, I saw on the sign full serve. I was like, oh God, I guess this is weird, but like sure, like just get back in my car and wait.
Quite the acute observation you've made, sir. Here I am at the gas station. I do need gas.
Well said, well said.
made it to the wild and wonderful land of New Jersey. That's what that means.
Yeah.
That's their claim to fame.
It's the whole
That's
state,
all they
right?
have.
Jersey, I think that they just recently changed the laws, but it had been a law that like you have to have an attendant. That's probably some mob
100%.
No, that's
Teamster
exactly what it is.
union thing. It has to be.
I mean,
Is that
it's gotten so bad, people won't even go to their own beaches and they go up to fucking Cape Cod.
I was just going to say,
Tell
probably,
me.
is that, do people when they come to the Cape, do they not know how to pump?
Like, don't they keep giving me gabagool? They're like, do it for me.
No, this is
I'm
for
like,
you.
no.
Do it in exchange
No,
for
no,
gas.
Hey, you
Boy.
fucking
We
do
got a
it.
bar that's just about New Jersey. I thought that's how you guys did up here. Oh, hey, right? And then you like walk away. I know somebody from New Jersey, and none of them have any. They like don't act like that at all, and yet I refuse to accept what they tell me is truth. And I'm like, no. The stereotype's funnier though.
Yeah, I am
like,
married
okay.
to someone from New Jersey.
Correct, right? I was gonna say, it's just like I meet them. They're all like, "Hi, how are you? My name's Jack." It's like, "Oh, hey,
Oh,
And they're like,
Jack!
stop doing this."
Hey,
They just
put
don't.
your salami away, all right? I don't want to Italian
Yeah.
sub.
They're like, no, that is funny. I agree, but please just
Please stop it. You can talk to me like a regular person.
It's like, no, I'm not gonna though.
I only talk in deli meat language. Only deli
better-
meats.
You better salam me out of here. Like, all right, get the fuck out of here. I'm tired of this guy. I'm tired of him.
Gotta slam me out of here before we get some roast beef.
Before I backhand you with my mortadelle.
Also, like, I had the subtitles on in this. I always thought that old lady said, "Don't stop or we'll die." Apparently, she says, "Don't stop, Wilbur, drive."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I guess that's true. Interesting.
Yep. Subtitles, they do wonders.
Or will die.
They help.
Yeah.
They do help.
Don't stop or we'll die is just so much better. I prefer that one. All right, so Marty finds Doc's address in the phone book and chases after his peeping dad, which leads to Marty taking his place in Lorraine's love story, as well as some incestual hijinks. Hey, we're back.
Here we come.
Now the movie
Here
started.
we are.
Yes, I mean,
Open.
for him to just wake up and have her just like staring at him, that kicks it off real quick with just super creepy, very uncomfortable.
See, this is kind of where this movie falls apart for me because, listen, in reality, that scene, you're fucking your mom. And you don't know it's your mom, but you're fucking her. And I'll tell you what, you're going to feel bad afterwards. Probably going to jump in front of that car again, but, we all know what's going to happen in that scene.
Yep. We've all read Oedipus Rex. We know what's going to happen next.
We've
Ripping those eyeballs out.
It's time travel. I mean, up to this point, Marty's got no reason to believe there's any like consequences to his actions in the past. So, like, yeah, maybe he does. You never know.
Wait, does he
Based
know?
on-
Does he know it's his
Go ahead.
mom at this point?
Does he know what?
Does he know that's his mom at this
yeah,
point?
because
I think
she's
so. I
talking
think
to him.
immediately.
He thinks he's still in it. Like, he thinks that he just woke up from the nightmare and he hears his mom talking to him and, like, rubbing his head the way his mom does. So he's like, I had a terrible dream. And then she turns the lights on. He's like, oh, my God, you're fucking hot.
Okay.
yeah, exactly. Like he's like, oh, this was a terrible dream. Like I was back in 1955 in Hill Valley.
All right, I'm gonna
Like,
pull it back. I'm gonna
55.
pull my assessment back. You're not 100% gonna fuck your mom. 88%.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm
That's the
100%
problem.
fucking whoever the stranger is. Yeah, it's like, okay.
I'm gonna be like, hey,
Tim,
listen, tell me
before
your
you-
mom
before
is.
you talk.
Tell me your name's something different.
Moraine, I like that name
Tim,
better.
before you talk from now on, we're going to have to ask you to think real carefully before what you're about to say. You're on out.
John, I think
That's a
I don't know
bad
what happened. We
Capable.
released that Back to the Future episode and we all got fired from our jobs for incest jokes.
I'm capable
really weird.
of thinking carefully about what I say at this point, John.
Still, you stand by that 85% going to fuck your mom.
That's a solid B. That's a B.
Look, she's looking like that. What are you going to do? You're going to say no?
I'm not saying I'm gonna fuck my mom. I'm saying anyone in that situation is gonna fuck their mom. At an 85%
That makes it
rate.
better. That makes it better.
At an
John.
85% rate.
Everyone but me. Yeah, totally not me, but you guys totally going to fuck your moms.
Yeah.
85%
I think the problem with all this
That's all I'm
is Jesus Christ. Honestly, I think that the problem with this is that Leah Thompson is so attractive in this movie that like you just immediately just like, no, just fuck her. Just because you don't even put two and two together.
No, this is good.
Look at her.
Oh, okay. This all makes sense, right?
Guys, the whole moral of the entire movie is don't fuck your mom. Why are we all coming up with excuses for other people to fuck their moms?
Dude, I don't know. That's like what porn is nowadays. It's just, I've just been conditioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. No, I like where I come back to a movie I've found, on the internet, and I'm like, and it's like, oh, incest. I'm like, oh no, I've seen this one before. It's totally not incest. Like
yeah.
Or you can recognize it. Like, no, I've seen this one. We're good.
It's the thumbnail that brings you in,
So to pull it back in on a more serious note, there's a fun fact about this scene when Marty wakes up. If you actually, you put on headphones and turn it up just enough, you can actually hear the sizzling of his mother's frothing laundry.
That's just crazy.
It's like an egg hitting a hot frying pan.
I'm telling you,
That's
man.
a terrible way to describe that. I hate all of this. I hate it. This is disgusting. The incest jokes I'm on board with. Hilarious. Talking about egg frying pans with vaginas? No. Wrong. Bad. That's not good.
Bill draws a line.
I got to draw a line somewhere. This is grotesque.
Potentially real thing that's disgusting, fine. Potentially fake thing that would never happen, bad.
Exactly. Max gets it. Thank you, Max.
Also, I was just thinking too, you know how the grandpa...
I'm never going to look at eggs the same way
again. Also, thinking how the grandpa yells still another one of these kids jumped in front of my car. Makes me just think that is there just a line down the street of kids trying to get into this tree to go peep on Lorraine and they just keep on falling into the street?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty fair, I guess. Or there's just a bunch of attractive women down the street and he's keeps trying to come home, turns the corner and just see another kid. He's like, God damn it. What do I have to do around here?
It's not even your own mother. What are you looking at?
Yeah, my assumption was this guy is just mowing down kids. I mean, those,
granddad's got to get off the sauce.
Yeah,
he's like, I never left Korea.
Those 1950s cars that were just boats, giant steel cages, just crashing through kids' skulls. Good times.
Oh yeah,
kid
good point.
Kid.
Solid steel. You aren't bouncing off of shit. You're gone.
Yeah.
There's no crumbles.
It's a bunch of pristine cars just eating kids.
It's just a steel death trap.
So after getting groped by his mom, Marty finds Doc, who doesn't believe that he's a time traveler until Marty recites the story of how Doc came up with the flux capacitor, and then by sealing the deal when he shows Doc the DeLorean.
The whole thing where Doc can't believe that the idea that Ronald Reagan is president, just strikes a different joke for after 2016 through 2020. It's
Sure does, Bill.
Yeah.
Especially since we have in part 2 with Biff just being Trump. And it just makes it even more of a parallel.
It's
so weird.
It's so weird.
Almost 30 years
The funny
to
thing
the
about
day.
it is Reagan loved the movie. Reagan loved it.
Oh, yeah,
He
it's all
quoted
about-
it in a fucking speech.
It's because the happy ending is that capitalism won. These boomers are rich. That's the happy ending of the movie. He's like, good. Reaganomics. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Max. You're
Trickle
getting us
it
back on the
down.
woke list. Trickle it down.
It's trickling. It's getting there. It's getting there.
Keep your mouth open like a baby bird. Some will fall into your mouth. You
Suckle right in
poor
forehead.
people, you poor pieces of shit. You fucking poor schlubs.
Go to college. I don't give a fuck. You need to take a loan out. Oh, you won't get a loan approved? Not my problem. Trickling down. Oh, boy. Yeah. The Doc Brown makeup is great, though, because, when I was a kid, I didn't even realize, really, that he had old man makeup on in the future. It's mostly around his neck in the future. It's he kind of goes from, looking like an old poodle to, a more yellowish poodle in the 50s. It looks... It's pretty good. Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
I was gonna say, how old was he when this movie was made? Right, I don't think he was 40 something, right? I think
so.
He wasn't super old.
No, he can't.
Which I
He's
always love
still kicking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's not 100. Do you know what I mean? he's like 80 whatever, but I'm sure it's
Yeah.
He's still far too old for prepubescent teenagers coming over to their houses at 8 a.m. before they go to school.
It's true. That's true.
That's
I
something.
mean, there was a good point.
Yeah, don't talk about.
Before
Marty
you
needed
see
a
the
father
first
figure.
DeLorean and he speeds off. Jesus. Okay, incest. Get back on track. But no, before we actually travel back in time, everything could just be Marty being fucking groomed by an old man.
Oh, yeah.
And he's about to get fucking kidnapped, you know? Like,
Strickler's just looking out for him. Stay away from that Doc Brown. He's trouble. And then like 20 minutes later in the movie, he's meeting Doc Brown at a mall parking lot, 1:30 in the morning. That's
yeah.
pretty weird.
I got to show you
Cut
something,
scene
Marty.
to dun dun.
Don't tell anybody.
Pick up the video camera on your way. I got some things I want to film.
I got some tapes. Make sure you bring extra tapes, Marty. No, like what would actually happen is that Marty blows out that amp, and then he sees that what's covering the amp is just a well, and there's like a bunch of little kids on down there at the bottom of it.
So you telling me this strange old scientist who calls himself a doctor but ain't one has some kids in a well?
Tim, you gonna
Tell me
finish
this.
that?
Oh God.
Usually Max finishes it.
No, it's too late now. We missed a moment.
Eggs on a frying pan.
So also, Doc, he tells Marty that he can create a device to channel the lightning bolt from the clock tower, and that Marty needs to hook his parents up before the end of the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. So, after a few failed attempts to get George to ask Lorraine out, Marty then steps his game up and sneaks into his room in the middle of the night, telling George that he's Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan, and he'll melt George's brain if he doesn't ask Lorraine out.
So I didn't even really think about this now. The incest was bad enough, but like Marty gets sent on a mission like, no, you have to make your parents fuck.
For sure.
You're on a mission from
Yeah.
God.
You need to build sexual tension between your parents. Between your underage parents, Marty. You've got to do
Marty,
this,
I'll be
Marty.
honest with you.
Based on
I'm worried that if you do not get your parents to fuck, you are going to fuck your mother. There's an 85% chance.
based on the way that Lorraine was treating Marty when he woke up in her bedroom, it is highly likely that Lorraine and the Mr. McFly fucked on that very first thing. She said like their first kiss was that the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, but she was a lying fucking alcoholic at that point in her life. They banged at that point.
Yeah.
So like Marty's already cock blocked his dad. Now he's got to fix it. He's got to help make a sibling.
A worthless sibling.
Yeah, it's a worthless half sibling. Yeah, it's.
George was under that poofy dress in the gym, you know?
I like how Marty goes, yeah, let's keep that brain melting stuff to ourselves, okay?
Yeah. Because I love it because his dad is like, "This is amazing. I should tell everybody." He's like, "No. You already have enough problems. Like, you need to fuck mom. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to be
Listen,
cool
I'm
enough to
already a
fuck
little
mom."
concerned that you believe this.
Also,
great.
on this rewatch, I noticed during the scene at George's house, like I thought that the perfectly manicured hedges and like these oak trees looked familiar, so I looked it up, and it's the same South Pasadena neighborhood from Halloween. And then also like a bunch of other movies. So like George McFly's house is like 3 houses down from Michael J. Fox's house in Teen Wolf. Like they're like literally a couple houses apart. And then like on the same street, Biff's house from Part 2 is there. And then same thing with Doc Brown's mansion's in the same neighborhood. And then I actually looked through it. So like there's countless movies, but just for the movies that we've covered, this neighborhood has had is Sarah Connor's house, the first Sarah Connor that gets killed in the first Terminator. That's her neighborhood. All the houses in Halloween, the Nightmare on Elm Street house as well, Michael Jordan's house in Space Jam, and then Ellie's house in Jurassic Park 3. Like that's just for movies that we've covered.
Fascinating. Is this like
Beautiful
it's
street.
like a legit neighborhood that's exclusively used with like real houses that's used just for filming? Fascinating.
They film a lot of shit there because it looks like the Midwest. You can pass for the Midwest. Like there's no palm trees there, so they film a bunch of stuff there. Yeah, but even for like Halloween, they filmed inside the houses too because it was such a low budget.
Yeah. Guess that makes sense. All right.
That's cool.
I like how there's just this one whole place is just like Hollywood Incorporated.
Yep.
It's like a regular street. They're just like, yeah, but we'll just keep using it forever. It's like, oh, okay.
Nobody will
skip
ever notice that these are the same houses.
No, I would never. You've blown their cover.
Blew my cover. Blew it. This episode of Hold My Popcorn is brought to you by, you guessed it, Manscaped, a.k.a. the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. And Manscaped's just recently released their all-new Lawnmower 4.0 just in time for the holidays. Oh, boy. And right now, our listeners will receive 20% off their first purchase, as well as free shipping when they use the promo code MyPopcorn at Manscaped.com. Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. This upgraded trimmer also allows you to customize your trim through additional guard lengths with sizes 1 through 4, as well as an LED spotlight and wireless charger. So this holiday season, give your dick and balls the gift that keeps on really giving by going to manscaped.com and using the promo code MyPopcorn at checkout to receive 20% off and free shipping. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Back to the episode. Manscaped. All right, back to the movie. So, George, he's about to ask Lorraine out when Biff barges in and starts harassing him. So Marty trips Biff, and then he sucker punches him, leading to a car chase scene where Marty invents the skateboard and then narrowly escapes a bunch of cow shit.
This shit's on Marty.
Sure.
I mean, Marty, if you don't want your mom to be thirsty for you, man, stop doing this type of shit.
Yeah.
Stop being such a fucking hero.
Stop being so damn sexy.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? She like turns to, like, isn't he dreaming? He's just like,
Oh
fucking.
my God.
Yeah.
Lorraine, put your mouth
He's a
back.
dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
what it
he a
is.
dream?
He's a dream. That's what it is, right? It's like, oh my God.
Also, presumably Biff had planned on just murdering Marty in front of like 100 people in public.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Biff was going to just murder him straight up.
He's going to Suge Knight that guy. That's what he was going to do.
I don't care. This is how powerful I am in this area. It's like, oh God.
With
All
Billy Zane cheering him on the background. Put a cork in it, Zane.
Cork in it.
Was it a thing for there to just be like dump trucks of cow manure in like main city streets in the 1950s?
Yeah, where's that all that cow shit going?
Oh, absolutely. No, they left the cows to roam the city square.
In the
In
1950s?
1955.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody went to the communal milk cows
Mhm.
and just squeeze, get some of that. But a lot of bullshit. You got to clean it up. You don't need the plague coming back.
Fascinating.
That's true. Again, and I also like that this chase or this whole thing just occurs in like this very small town square.
Yep.
It's like they don't like leave anywhere. Also, yeah, he tries to like literally murder him by like squishing him between two cars. Everyone's like, "Isn't this great? Aren't we all having a blast?"
He's such a
He's wearing
dreamboat.
Goofy, such a dream. He's about to get fucking murdered by our high school bully.
Boys will be boys, Preble.
The reaction in reality, if like we were all in high school and we saw one of our classmates like just trying to murder somebody in public, we would all be screaming. Like everyone
Yeah.
would be running out. So we're like, someone call the cops. Oh my God,
Understand.
no. Instead, they're like,
Exactly.
wow, that's cool.
Instead, this is their.
Did you see him riding that skateboard?
Well, he's doing something new. Also, apparently, skateboarding started in California in the 1950s, so
Mm-hmm.
that actually makes sense, which is now really upsetting to me. Thank you, Wikipedia. I really like pointing out, like, that couldn't be possible. People must know how to skateboard before. I'm like, I guess they didn't. Never mind. Fine, maybe he did invent it. Okay.
Yeah, and so then after this, Lorraine, she, snail trails her way back to Doc Brown's house and asks him about
I mean, she kind of does, though, right? She's like, hey,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
just been following him. I've just been following him this whole time.
Lorraine, there's like
Tim.
a trail behind you. Can you mop that up?
know.
That's in the driveway. That's gross.
Get the hose.
Tim, you need to think up of another sound. We need to ruin another food for Bill. Go. What does that sound like? Next time you open that jar of jelly, Bill.
Well,
Ooh,
you know,
God.
it's
Macaroni
late
in
enough
a
for me,
bucket.
guys. I think I'm all set for the night. This is a good time
Was
to
that,
call it
is
quits.
that Francis screaming in the distance?
What's that? Oh, here comes it. Oh, sorry, guys.
Ooh, I
I'll see you
think
later.
I'm developing
Guess
the
I gotta
monkey
go.
cough. Gotta go. This then leads to a terrible plan by Marty where he plans on sexually assaulting Lorraine so George can save the day.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
He goes from trying to commit murder to just rape.
Yeah, I know, exactly. It's like a crackhead's like, he's like, I got an idea.
Listen,
Let me lay it out for you all.
I'm gonna almost rape my mom, and you just stop me.
Okay, Dad? Ready?
Okay, Dad.
Break.
Okay, Dad.
Daddy-o.
Yeah, I know. That's a good daddy-o. I was like, oh my God.
Even George is like sitting there like, oh, I don't know, Marty. That just seems like a bad idea.
It's because it is. It's a terrible plan. It's a terrible plan.
What if I come in and she's enjoying it, Marty? I don't know if I can take that kind of rejection.
I think
Well,
I
then
can,
I'm going to
Dad.
be already into it. I'm sorry, I'm doing George's. Marty's going to be like, then I'm going to be already into it, George, and you should just butt out.
Well, can I just stick around and watch anyways?
I gotta learn some moves.
Feebly jerk off in the corner and watch. Is that okay, Marty?
Marty, I got this great new idea. It's called cuck porn.
It's going to be
But
number
it just
2
needs
after
some
incest porn.
Exactly. Instead of some stranger fucking your wife, it's your son. It's perfect. It's like, oh.
Best of both worlds.
Cuck incest porn. That's what's playing at the theater in the town center in 1985.
Inspired by a local resident. Thank you.
Inspired by a true story.
Exactly.
Mom fucker.
They give out the Marty McFly Award at the AVNs.
Yes, it's just a really fucked up looking kid. It's a statue.
Kane,
Got a bunch of
start the
hemophilia, just like,
For this year's Best Mother-Son Award, we provide the Marty McFly Award to Tim Begin. Congratulations, Tim. You really earned it
well
this
done,
time.
Timothy,
Well
well
done.
done.
For my speech. Oh, God, I
I'd like
can't
to
say
thank my mother.
There's nothing I can say that's already been done. Thank you.
Oh, God, it's awesome.
Yeah. So I guess instead of like trying to like attempt rape your teenage mom, like what would your plan be? What's a
Not
good way to make
this.
George look like a hero? Yeah, not that.
I mean, what actually
Not
happened
this.
was a good way. Like, why don't we
Yeah.
get you in a fight with Biff?
catfish Biff.
Yeah.
I just she didn't
Just reel
fall
him in.
for she didn't fall for George in the first
my
place
God.
because he looked like a hero.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
No, never mind. Sorry, I was going to get into another thing. Sorry, Bill.
She fell in love with George because he was like a helpless looking puppy or something like that. Is what she says. So fucking just lean into that. Remove yourself from the situation, Marty. Stop being such a fucking creep around your mom, and just get your dad in there, and like things will probably work out all right.
Yeah, right.
Get your dad in there. Come on, tag team dad. Let's go. Get in there.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
I mean,
Like
this is
father,
he
like
missed
son,
out.
huh, Marty?
Missed out on the threesome, guys. Two birds, one stone.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's
You know
like,
what I mean?
you like, yeah. Well, it's like, it's like Marty like has information, but he's like, let me just lean into the only information that's available to the audience. Like, no, don't lean into trying to fuck your mom. You're like now a very popular kid in school. Find someone else. You know, you have like so many other options to like really explore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just like, no, let's just go with the old usual.
Artificial insemination still on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I think my
immediate-
plan
yeah,
would have been to just like kiss Biff. I think that would have worked. Then she would have seen me thought I was gay in the 50s. She would have been really homophobic, and that would have just thrown. I think that would have worked.
And then Biff would have had to have done something to himself because he's like, now everyone thinks I'm gay. So I guess I'm going to throw myself in a river or something.
Yep.
It's like, I'll see you. It's the 50s.
But see, Bill, that would have only succeeded in getting her off of Marty. What you need to do is you need to follow the Frank Reynolds rubric. Magnum condoms
dentist
and a wad
system.
of hundreds. Yeah, and a wad of hundreds. That's what you got to do.
Let me transport you to Philadelphia, circa the late 2000s. It's like, oh, okay.
George, here you go. Here's some hundreds and some Magnum condoms. George is like, what's a condom? AIDS hasn't been invented yet. We don't use those.
We don't need to worry about this.
No.
It's like, okay.
Yep. My first thought would have been like, just say that you're gay, but then it's the mid 50s, so then somebody would Marty would have been taken away.
Yeah.
The principal would have fucking
Like,
thrown him
Doc,
into the
we need you to
furnace in the
use that
basement of the school.
electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, they would have just tied Doc or Marty up to the fucking DeLorean and shocked him until the gay went away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about right. That's what we think of the 50s works. It's like, sure. Why not? Electricity solves all problems. Okay.
Have you electrocuted it yet? No, maybe you should do that
Let's give it a
first.
shot.
Give it a shot. Some
Yeah.
electricity in your brain, it might help.
Yeah. So Marty's plan backfires immediately with Lorraine just whipping her titties out and pulling out a flask and cigarettes before he can even turn off the car.
This incest shit fucked me up so bad I couldn't even enjoy the titties.
Neither could Marty,
Like-
which was hilarious because he could not stop looking at them, but you could tell he was just like, I don't know what to do. Where else do I look? Squirming everywhere.
Look up. It's like, okay, sure.
I think we should park. Oh, Marty. I've parked. I'm almost 18. I've parked before.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Lorraine was going to straight up, fuck Marty in this like crowded parking lot in front of the school dance.
Lorraine was going to be in the back window of that car.
It's Titanic style.
Just throw one hand up, just thunk, and just have it slide down.
Her leg was going to pop out the fucking vinyl rooftop of that car. You know?
Something else.
I'll say
Perfect.
that like this movie did actually open my eyes to the idea that like I always had this idea that my parents like they didn't drink, they didn't do any drugs, they didn't do like, you know, they're like always goody two shoe kind of people. And like I remember watching this movie when I was like in like middle school or high school and being like, I wonder if that was all bullshit. Hint, it was all bullshit. It was all total bullshit. Yeah, like, but I like as like a middle school kid, I just thought that like the way that they were then was the way they always were. And it was really mind opening, eye opening to see this.
I remember listening to this old Bill Burr episode in which he was golfing with some like old timer, and the guy was just like, "Yeah, everybody thinks that they're the first generation to fuck." The guy's like, back in the 30s, I used to fuck a redhead up on a hill against a tree. Just like, oh my God.
It's like, thank you, sir, for this anecdote.
No, it's true. I mean, I think honestly, it was probably in a lot of ways it was worse back then. I mean, if any of you like know people who were alive during World War II, like if you have a grandma during World War II, they were just sleeping with multiple dudes when their husbands were gone, because like their whole job is like, all right, like when the boys come to town, all the young girls got to go take them out and show them a good time because they're fighting for this country. So fuck a couple of guys this weekend, right, ladies?
Get out there and do your duty.
Do your duty for America. Fuck these boys.
After you get out of the factory making tanks and guns, go do your other duties. You know.
But I just want to put it out there.
they
My
definitely-
grandmother did not do that.
Then Tim goes back into a time machine. He's like, oh, no, Nana, no.
No.
And then it becomes an episode of Futurama.
So, thankfully, Lorraine, she's grossed out after kissing Marty. Then Biff pulls Marty out of the car, and he has his goons lock him in the trunk while he attempts to rape Lorraine.
Just casual rape.
Boys
Yep.
will be boys.
Some would say a group rape.
Yeah, with all of his. Oh God, they probably thought about that. You know, Spielberg did. Like, well, what if all four boys join in? But no, they just sit in the back. They're like, "Yeah, get it, Biff. Do it, Biff. Extra hard, Biff." Like, and then
I sure love
then
watching my friends
kidnap a
rape
boy.
people.
God,
So what did you do this weekend, Billy? Well, let me tell you. I didn't do anything. I watched a lot, though.
Well,
okay.
through these 3D
I'm what we
glasses
call
that
an
distort
enabler.
my vision, I watched my
Yeah,
friend rape a woman.
But it was
And we're
all
okay
good
with
fun.
this.
Everyone
Yeah.
had a blast.
Yeah, we all had a good time. She wasn't really enjoying it, but we had a good time.
But thanks to these glasses, I saw it in 3D. Wink. The end of a
Jamming under
Scooby-Doo.
the sea dance that I'll never forget. When my best friend raped that other girl from my school, and I just watched.
From our small
1950s.
town. It's like 1955.
Grab
Classic.
yourself a Coca-Cola. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the future takes a turn for the better when George knocks Biff out with one hand and picks Lorraine up with the other.
It's a good fist.
Yep.
I like how the hand forms.
Yep.
I was like, all right,
Yeah.
there you go. I was like, all right, good.
George's
Nice.
hand's definitely broken.
Both arms are now, both hands are now broken.
Mm-hmm.
I had to touch a girl with this one, too. That one shattered upon contact. No, girls. No.
Great acting by Crispin Glover in this, though. It's like you can feel the anxiety that he has when he's like telling Biff, no, like you got to leave her alone.
Hey,
Good scene.
you get your damn hands off of her.
Oh,
I love that when he realizes it's not him.
yeah, it's Biff.
He's
Just
like, "Ugh."
Biff keeps on getting taller and taller. He's like, fuck.
Me.
All right, Biff. Well, seems like you were doing a good job. I'll let you get back to it. All right, bye, Lorraine. Just shuts the door.
Bye.
Marty just
Have
disappears.
fun, Lorraine.
Best of luck out there.
That's the one thing is that this does not it doesn't really fit the character that we've seen so far that he would stand up to Biff at that moment.
Nope.
I mean, it's good that he did, but I mean, would he though?
It's one of those life-changing events.
All right.
You know?
That we all have where we knock out, our rapists. Of the, it's like, don't we all do that?
Haven't we all been in that situation?
Don't we all?
This is like
Isn't this
Viking
relatable?
culture. It's like,
I know.
you can't rape her. I was going to rape her.
I mean, George does resolve all of his issues through violence in this. So
He does, yeah.
Yeah, that's how he makes
Well,
a
of
success of
course.
himself.
Yep.
He learns
He
how to
is
stand
filled up to his eyeballs with all of the sperm that he has not ejaculated this
true.
far into puberty. Like, that's where the nerd rage came
Yeah.
from. Like, the violence, small side effect, but
He was supposed to let it fly up in that tree, but hadn't
Yeah.
had a chance since.
Nope.
Jesus Christ, he would have painted a car if he let go up there. Still, that's a lot coming out.
No wet dreams. Keeps having nightmares of Darth Vader trying to fucking eat his brain.
Precursor
ruin
to the
that, too.
Sacramento masturbator.
So after this, these reefer addicts get Marty out of the trunk.
Oh,
Then
my
subs
God.
in with the
Jesus
band.
fucking Christ.
I know.
That pissed me off. I was
The
like actually
stereotypes
angry about
are insane. Ugh.
Well, because
It's like, what are these cool rock and roll jazz musicians doing? I
fish
know.
bowling this car. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Smoking reef.
Wholesome 50s
Oh,
once
okay.
again. You got kids drinking and smoking cigarettes, fucking in one car, and you got a bunch of dudes just smoking weed in the other.
And they're the ones that are going to, like, destroy people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. I don't want to get
That's like-
beat up by any reefer addicts.
I'm just trying to kidnap this guy so my friend can rape this girl.
Yeah,
That's all I'm doing.
It's like no one gets more aggressive. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, they're going to get beat up by reefer addicts. Like, they're going to take a nap about like 10 minutes after eating a fucking half a cake. It's like, you shitting me? No.
It's funny to think about in retrospect, though, that the whole band is super stoned when they're playing all this like wholesome 50s music.
Hilarious. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but what happens here? Marty subs in with the band, and then George seals the deal by kissing Lorraine right before Marty just fully disappears. How about this brace-faced ginger who almost like ruined the whole movie?
Oh, you mean me?
Yeah.
Tim just gone.
Yeah, no.
Hey, McFly, cutting in.
once again, stealing a woman. Like, once again, it's the very last instance of near rape that we see.
Viking culture.
We don't know if they're going to dance. Yeah, Viking culture.
No, I'm just trying to drag her over to my club over in the corner here with this cave I've made. It's like, wait, stop.
It would have been hilarious,
Yeah,
though.
great,
It's like
though.
this Shermanator just cucking George, and then Marty just like fades away like George, like Bruce Willis and Looper. Just like, boop, he's gone.
He just got snapped, just like in the Marvels. Just like, that's that, and he's gone.
Yeah,
And
just
fucking-
Thanos click, boom, gone.
Thanos snap. I was like, yeah, you're fucking dead, I guess. Okay, sure.
It's like, but like, no wonder why this town is such a shithole in the future when you have like teenagers like this like redhead guy just fucking cackling, stealing dances. And Biff.
Exactly.
Everybody sucks in this
All
movie.
of his friends, they're all terrible.
They're all sexual deviants,
people.
including George, who's a fucking peeping Tom.
And none of them are leaving the town, right? It's not like they're taking their shittiness away. They're all staying here, having sex with shitty people and making shitty kids.
It's getting worse and worse every generation.
This is the start of Idiocracy.
It is. I know.
That's what plants crave.
You got to fast forward to a buttfuckers restaurant in that town square. Marty comes back. He's like, buttfuckers? I wasn't here before.
What? I don't remember this.
You mean Fuddruckers? Yeah, no, buttfuckers.
Sure.
All right. So then after this, Marty steals Johnny Be Good from Chuck Berry.
Always good.
Yeah, like that hasn't been stolen enough from Chuck Berry. Like Elvis's entire career wasn't basically just Johnny Be Good and with a new melody.
Haley in the comments. Yep. Countless white people just taking all of his music.
Yep.
This movie's, it's like this music is great. Let me just add a little something to it. White bread. Just like, oh, perfect. What a sandwich. What a musical sandwich to make.
Here's my contribution, making it worse.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
let's
great,
take the groove out of it and just do terrible electric guitar solos. Why would you want people to feel like they need to move to your music?
So this is the thing I noticed too, which is hilarious, is when Marvin Berry, when he tells Chuck, like, you know the new sound you've been looking for? Well, listen to this. The only thing that Chuck Berry hears is Marty just ruining the song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he immediately just like knocks over the fucking amp and is just like just fucking writhing on the floor, and everyone stops dancing. It gets all quiet. Like that's what Chuck heard.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't make this music.
It's an
And he gets up and is like, oh, maybe this is a little ahead of your time, and like, you know, your kids are gonna love it. Like, are they? Is anyone ever really gonna like what you just did? That was fucking awful.
Only if he's dressed up like a woman with a lot of makeup, because this is 1985.
Even punk rock had a melody.
Yes.
Yes.
I think this goes to show that Marty's just not a good musician.
No.
Right.
I mean, I think that
really.
Strickland, whatever the fuck his name is, kind of right. It's like, you're really not going to like amount to anything of any real value. Like, they gave you a chance to go play the guitar and you fucked that up too.
Yeah, it's fair, actually.
The Ramones got famous playing 2 bar chords. You know, and Marty McFly can't muster that.
In his defense, he was just traumatized by his own mom trying to fuck him in the back of the car. So
He had a lot of anger, sexual frustration to get
he was
out.
trying to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a cry for help than anything else.
Very confused blue balls.
So Marty, then I did not imagine this being so perverted of an episode. I thought we would touch on the incest a little bit, but I guess this is just going to be the incest episode.
You.
It's like,
Oh, you're a
the
funny
main
guy.
feature of the
Funny guy,
movie.
Max.
God damn it.
Well, if you want to edit it all out, you can finally get that hour-long
We got a
episode.
nice 26-minute episode. Well, the movie opens up with Marty, the end. Time for questions. So Marty says goodbye to his parents. And this is like an example, too, of how the music in this movie just makes the scene so much better. There's multiple times in this in which, like, that Silvestri music in this is just so good. But it's really just him kind of just saying bye. But, like, it's, I don't know. You get, like, a whole fuzzy feelings just because of that iconic music that comes on during it.
This is the point that every time that I watch this movie, I'm like, oh yeah, there's this whole other storyline where he needs to get back to the present. Like you kind of get like he gets sent into the past, and then it's just like it's its own movie where like he almost breaks up his parents and he has to get them back together, and that resolves itself. It's like, all right, Finn, time to roll the credits. Oh wait, no, there's like another half an hour left.
Wait, I'm still in 1955. Fuck.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I do like just how, what is it, Lorraine's like, Marty, I like that name. Or like, that's a nice name. It's not a nice name to name our first son or daughter, which you can do because Marty can work both ways. Maybe we'll actually, it's an okay name. Maybe we'll name our third kid if we have one.
Now I think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Yeah. All right. So now we're getting to the ending of this movie. So I never noticed this before either. Marty arrives with 7 minutes to spare because this once in a lifetime event that's happening. He wants to go home and change first, so he doesn't look like a fucking 1950s dork at 1:15 in the morning in a mall parking lot.
I know.
What are you doing?
Fucking clown.
Because that's when the Libyans will definitely kill you. Like, what the hell is this? Get him. It's like, oh, okay.
That shirt's starting to come back into
Guy's in a
style.
3-piece suit.
Get him. That's probably the most high schooler moment of the entire movie is that. It's just that logic by Marty.
He has to go home and change.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta go home and
Gotta look
change. Like,
good.
you missed everything, Marty.
Everyone's dead.
Now you're stuck here. I know you don't go to class, so you can't tell me another event in which there's ever lightning anywhere, ever.
Yeah.
So we get into the marching drum music with Doc ripping up Marty's warning letter and a bunch of tree branches and cable wire drama. Eventually, thankfully, Doc just like zip lines down and reconnects everything just in the nick of time as Marty blasts back to the future while a joyous Doc runs down the street laughing.
Yeah.
How does Doc not get electrocuted here? He's like hanging onto the wire when like when it goes through, right?
He's got gloves on.
Gloves? Is that going to be enough to protect you from lightning?
Gloves will work.
I don't think it works.
Yeah,
that
the
way.
gloves will do it.
Oh, all right.
Come on.
Gloves.
I think as long as the those two plugs are in, he wouldn't probably get electrocuted. But I don't know. He was pretty close.
Yeah.
He was pretty close to being the part of the circuit.
Yeah.
As one would say.
That would have been a great another hilarious ending to this movie. Doc Brown just gets absolutely annihilated by the lightning bolt, and Marty is stuck in the past. And doesn't have Doc Brown.
Or Marty hits it, and then he goes back into the town square, and there's like a big memorial for like the richest man in town, which is Doc Brown, who died on that day in 1955. And Marty's like, oh fuck.
Oh, boy.
What did I do?
no.
Jeez.
Let's see. Yep. All right. Then we cut back to the present day of this shitty 1985 Hill Valley with its police helicopters, rundown buildings, and crazy drunk drivers.
God.
Mayor Red.
That's right. That's the mayor, right?
Yep. Which is hilarious.
Yes,
Because Marty, he sees the porn theater and he gives out a big sigh of relief. And then he sees Red, like drunk Red on the bench sleeping, and he just goes, "Oh, Red, you look great." Then he travels over to Lone Pine Mall as well.
That's right.
And the car breaks down. He gets there like a second too late. Doc gets murdered all over again, leading to Marty breaking down in front of his body. But then Doc gets up as we learn that he did in fact save the letter, and he had a bulletproof vest on. So that's good.
Yay.
Some real wishy-washy
Doc.
time travel stuff going on here. I mean, yeah.
Yep. You just gotta let it go.
You just gotta fly with it.
Yep. Funny enough, we criticized time travel a lot more in Bill and Ted than in this episode.
Well, that was just absurd.
Patently false. How can I believe this?
Yeah, so then wrapping up the movie here, Marty wakes up in a now clean, furnished home with siblings that are now successfully living at home, along with his rich, thriving, in-shape boomer parents and a pathetic Biff, who we see waxing George's Beamer out front.
So
Always
weird.
laugh.
It's so weird. It's just, and I don't know. What was the brother doing before in the beginning of the movie? Did he work at like a fast food restaurant?
He
or
worked at
something
Burger
like
King,
that?
right?
It's a
Yeah,
bird.
he's,
Yeah,
he's
Burger
taking
King,
the
right?
bus to go to work at Burger King.
Yeah.
The night shift, too. That fucking sucks. All the drunk
And
people.
now he's some kind of fancy business person.
Yep. Still living at home with his parents, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a family man, damn it.
Yep.
Sure.
Also, I like how Biff, now that he doesn't have anybody to do his work for him, he is just doing the only thing that he's good at, which is just cleaning cars. Because he's had shit poured on his car so many times throughout these movies.
Yes. That is true. It's amazing, actually.
All right. Then, finally, to wrap it up, Marty, he sees that he now owns that sick Toyota Jeep that he's always dreamed of fucking Jennifer in. And then Doc, he pulls into the driveway running over a trash can. And then, they're going to go into the future. So the movie ends with the DeLorean flying to the screen. Finn.
Fiend.
Yeah, this movie just goes a lot longer. It just feels like it keeps going and going and going for me. Especially like once
I watched the extended cuts too,
Oh yeah,
where
Oh,
Marty
God.
and Jennifer are going to town. You know,
full penny.
full penny man.
I see your Marty shouting, "Mom, come on in!"
Yeah, Marty's
Join
oddly
in.
asking. Marty's oddly asking about Jennifer's mom for some reason throughout all of
Hey,
it.
is she around or something?
All right, Jennifer, let's pretend that it's 1955 and I just fell into the street and you're my mom and you're going to bring me upstairs. Marty, why do we always have to do this? It just act, just
Marty's
play with
mom has got it going on.
But I want a way to show now. Good.
So why do they still live in this house? That's what I want to know. Like, they're so successful. They have nice cars. They're all doing well. And then they still live in this, like, moderately nice middle-class house.
It's very selective changes to the future that have occurred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it for the purpose of the movie, but in real life, of course, they wouldn't live there. They would be. He's like a very famous author, apparently.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you would be living somewhere else, like the hills or whatever.
Or,
Get out of here.
Yeah, the house that you lived in originally was much nicer. I know that house for a fact is worth a few $1 million.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I mean, George and Lorraine have a happy marriage at this point, so they probably would have stopped at one or two kids instead of trying to force a third kid into the situation to try and
Getting
fix
too
their
drunk.
failing marriage. So that would have even been, again, another great way to end this movie is George knocks out Biff, and then Marty just immediately disappears and returns to the present. And like everyone's happier and everything's better. They're together and everything works. Just Marty is gone.
Yeah.
Never a third child.
Every once in a while, Doc gets deja vu with this kid named Marty, but that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Doc goes, "Great Scots! This is sex paradox. You don't want to have a shithead third kid."
Apparently, when the first kid was successful, they just stopped trying.
We don't need it anymore. You understand? We don't have that gaping hole in our lives.
Yeah.
Only gaping
not
hole we
trying to
have is
fill a love
Lorraine.
void.
Am I right?
Bazinga!
Where's Marty? Where's Marty when I need him? He would have liked that joke. He doesn't exist.
Oh, never mind.
Damn it. All right, time for trivia. And this first piece of trivia is probably my favorite piece of trivia. One of the dumbass executives named Sidney Sheinberg didn't like the title of the movie, so he suggested that they change it from Back to the Future to Spaceman from Pluto.
Oh my God!
These people get paid a
You
lot
just-
of money to think of this shit.
Fucking amazing.
Why? Why Spaceman from Pluto?
He then also had 3 other notes being like, I think you should also change the Darth Vader thing to him being Spaceman from Pluto. The book should be called Spaceman from Pluto. And Doc should mention that he's a spaceman from Pluto at one point. Just like, no.
So he created a new title by interjecting 3 completely new and unnecessary things.
Because I think
see.
this is what movie executives do, is they don't know they don't have the talent to make or write a movie. So they then just like kind of just like put their own little twist into it. And then they can tell everybody that it was their idea, even though they didn't fucking do anything.
That is terrible.
Yeah. And like by this point too, this is in 1984. The Back to the Future script had been rejected 40 times by like every single studio multiple times. Yeah, there was just
Oh, I wonder why they didn't appreciate the incest and
You guys
rape.
don't like incest? What are you, What are you, prudes? Get out of here. It's like, oh,
This is gonna be hip with the kids.
kids like fucking
Yeah,
their parents.
your
I
kids are
heard.
gonna
I
love
love
it.
fucking
Yeah,
my kid.
You might not be ready for it, but your kids are going to love it.
Incest, the movie. Oh, that's great. But like because they had been rejected so many times, they were hesitant to say anything. So they went to one of their buddies was Spielberg, who obviously produced this movie. So they asked for his advice, and what Spielberg did was he sent a memo back saying, in quote, "Hi Sid, thanks for your most humorous memo. We all got a big laugh out of it. Keep it coming." Which made that guy like humiliated, so he didn't bring it up again. Good move by Spielberg.
That's a boss move. Yeah, shut it
is.
down by just making him think it's a joke.
Yep. All right. As mentioned on our Anaconda episode, way back when, and this is probably a thing that a lot of people know now, but Eric Stoltz was originally cast as Marty after they couldn't get Michael J. Fox. So they had filmed over like 6 weeks worth of Stoltz as Marty before Spielberg watched some of the clips and just said that he realized he just wasn't the right fit for the role. So they had to add on an extra $5 million to the budget in order to refilm all of what Stoltz had did.
Ugh,
Holy shit.
that is so
Fucking
brutal.
hilarious.
Yeah.
You have to be fucking terrible for them to like say, you want to know what? You are worth, you being in this movie is worth not being in this movie is worth $5 million.
Yep.
I'm gonna pay $5 million just to avoid you. It's like,
Just
okay.
to rewrite everything that you were in. Apparently he was like method and he played it like a drama, like a straight drama. So I guess they're like during the first script read with everybody, the producers were like, doesn't this guy knows that this is a comedy, right? Like, and then he just kept on doing it. Like there's a whole like thing with the guy who played Biff saying how like when they're doing the pushing the scene and the, I think they're like pushing each other back and forth in some scene. Like Stoltz was like pushing Tom Wilson so hard that he had like bruises all over his like collar, like all over his like his shoulder blades after. And like he like leaned, he's like, "Hey, this is a movie. This is make pretend. If you fake push me, I will fake back up like you pushed me." And like he kept on shoving him. And he's like, "The only reason why I'm not punching you in the face right now is because we're filming." Like it's the whole thing. There's also a few clips of Stoltz as Marty on YouTube that you can watch. So I'll mention a few of the clips that are still around. So there's a scene of Marty leaning into the frame, looking at George at the diner. You know, like when he like both their faces kind of like go in. There's a scene of Doc holding the newspaper at Doc, or sorry, there's Marty at Doc's house holding the paper about the clock tower. There's a scene of like Marty walking around the town center in 1955. Which is just all weird to see because he just like he had his hair dyed black. He had a completely different like outfit on too. It just looks weird. Yeah. And then as far as the scenes that like Stoltz is still in the movie, there's a brief look of when Marty punches Biff at the diner. If you pause it, like you notice that the guy that's punching Biff is like 5 inches taller.
Oh, really? Hilarious.
Yeah.
Certainly they're the same height.
Because I guess there's like a close shot. You didn't see his head or his face. So they're like, fuck it, just keep it in. And then also there's the scene when Marty's holding on to Biff's car during the skateboard scene. You can see the back of his head. Like he has like a different shirt on too.
Sure.
Yep. And then there's a bunch of photos.
I'm surprised they would keep him in like any of the scenes with him in it. Like I feel like you'd have to pay him and stuff like that, right? Or like there'd be
they already paid him.
No. I mean, I guess you pay him for his time, but
yeah,
like,
they already paid him, so they didn't have to. And I guess they had a deadline of filming, so they had like a certain amount of time that they had to get done. So they're just like, there's a bunch of scenes apparently. If Stoltz was talking to somebody and he wasn't in the shot, they would just keep it in. So like if you look close, there will be certain times in which they just look like a lot younger and fresh-eyed, like not as like they don't have bags under their eyes as much. Like especially Biff, like his face is a little bit thinner and he has like heavier bags under his eyes in some of these scenes. Because you can tell that they've just been grinding on for like week after week. They also had to recast Jennifer because the original actress, what's her name? Melora Hardin. She was too tall. Probably don't know her, but she's Jan from The Office. That's who the original Jennifer was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. And then they would have to they recast Jennifer again with Elizabeth Shue for the second and third movie. So they had 3 Jennifers. And then also Michael J. Fox. So he was filming Family Ties at the same time, which is the whole reason why he couldn't do the movie in the first place. But he basically like didn't sleep for a few months during this. So he would film Family Ties during the day, and then they'd film Back to the Future at night, and then they would transport him around in a car with a bed in the back in between sets because he was getting like an hour of sleep a night. And then on the weekends, he was doing all the day scenes for Back to the Future. Something else.
That sucks.
It's a lot.
That sucks.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then also the movie was released 9.5 weeks after they wrapped up filming, which is
holy
impressive.
shit.
Yeah.
How did they do that?
What?
I think they had a deadline and they ended, I mean, they went, 6 weeks over because of Stoltz. Or Stoltz.
I guess, yeah.
Man, he must have really sucked.
If you see that one scene of him at Doc's house at the newspaper, like it just doesn't. You can tell it doesn't fit. Like it doesn't work. Like he's just so serious. He's like kind of like looking all dead eyed and like crumpling the paper up, and it's like this isn't funny. Like he's playing it for real.
What was the director doing for 6 weeks until everyone realized, like, kind of suck?
He had no say because he had made a couple of bombs and he wasn't successful. And then Spielberg watched it and he's like, yeah, this ain't working. So they're like, okay, whatever you say, Steve. And then they made the change. All right. Box office game. How much did this movie cost and how much did it make?
It cost $80 million plus $5 million. And it made $500 million.
Yikes.
I'm gonna go. I think it cost $110 million to make, and it made $350 million.
Oh, Jesus, Bill. All right, I'm gonna say it cost $50 million to make, and I'm gonna say it made $300 million because I was gonna say $350 million. Bill. Jesus, brutal.
Thanks.
Brutal.
Let's say 90 million to make, 180.
So it cost 19 to make.
Wow.
So it would have been 14 without the additional stuff. And then on the original release, it made $222 million.
Damn.
Okay.
And then with the multiple re-releases, it's now at 383.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Respectable. Very respectable.
Did Back to the Future 2, like, did they just like jump right into making that? Like, did they know that they were going to make a sequel, or did they wait for it to do well?
4 years. Back to the Future 2 and came out in 89. 4 years.
Oh, was it really that?
They filmed 2 and 3 at the same time, and then those came out like 6 months apart in 89 and 90. Which is like during COVID, obviously, I did a Back to the Future marathon, and it is funny watching the first one to the second one because Michael J. Fox has aged so much. Like he's just like a grown man by the time you get to the second movie. Like he's fucking 30 years old in the second movie. So it's just like them having to redo that scene from the ending of the first movie. It's like, oh man, like he's put on like 20 pounds. Like he just looks like an adult.
It's just so weird that they like so firmly set up a sequel without knowing that they were gonna do that.
I think maybe it's just because like after 40 drafts of a script, they probably just didn't think the movie was gonna do well. And then like, I mean, it seems like it was a fucking disaster on set. Like it's amazing that it actually worked out the way it did.
Guys, of course there could be a sequel. They got fucking Spielberg's golden dick on their side.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Did we even?
He just walks into executives' offices and just drops it on the fucking table.
Yeah.
Works.
A nice dull thunk.
The movie, so it debuted on the 4th of July weekend in 1985 to $11.1 million, finishing at number 1. It stayed number 1 until its 4th week, where it dropped to number 2. Then it regained the number 1 spot for another 9 weeks. So it was either number 1 or 2 for the first 13 weeks. And then it would stay in the top 10 for 24 straight weeks. Returning at number 1 in its 33rd week. So, like, it went for the number 1s. It went between the 4th of July and Valentine's Day was the gap between it being number 1 in the theater, and it never left.
That's insane.
It's fucking like it's half a year.
Just the fact that it was in theaters for that long is absurd.
Yep.
God, nothing says America's birthday like fucking your family members.
Amen to that.
Praise be.
Jesus.
Praise be.
Rudy Giuliani.
Also,
didn't he marry his cousin or something?
He sure did.
Yeah.
I'm sure he fucking did.
It's the only bad thing he's ever done.
Yes.
Also, Teen Wolf.
Man's a saint.
So Teen Wolf debuted on August 23rd at number 2 and would finish behind Back to the Future 4 straight weeks. So in the fall of 1985, Michael J. Fox had the number 1 and number 2 movies, as well as Family Ties, which was the second most watched show in America.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
And that Family Ties, which I looked up, averaged about 25 million viewers per week. I don't think anyone's ever done that before or since. let alone like having the number 1 and 2 movies in the country, but then also having like the top show in the country at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Is like, I mean, there are actors that have done very well on TV and very well in movie, but like, I can't think of anyone that's done them both at the same time.
Same fucking time for like a month straight of just like literally having 1 and 2. That's impressive. Although I think like Teen Wolf, actually, they pushed back their release date after Back to the Future just because they knew they would get some of that Michael J. Fox extra money coming in, which they did because that movie's not that good. All right, next question. Who is your favorite and least favorite in this?
Well, my favorite character is the person in the beginning who is listening to the bands and tells Michael J. Fox that he's just too loud.
Huey Lewis?
Resonated. Was that Huey Lewis?
Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh, all right, great. I really that resonated with me a lot. He was being too loud. I don't like music that's loud like that. I think my favorite character is probably Doc Brown. No, least favorite. I did it twice. Oops. I like everyone. I'm just a happy-go-lucky person.
I hate everybody. No, wait. I like everybody.
I like everybody. My least favorite person? I don't know. The uncle that's in jail.
Uncle
What's your
Joey.
deal? What are you doing,
Joey.
Uncle Joey? Get out of jail.
Jailbird.
Better get used to those
Jailbird.
bars.
You know, clink, clink, clink. Too good.
That is such 50s parenting. It's like, he likes it. We'll just keep him in there. It's like, you should be socializing that kid. He's kind of getting to that age where he needs to be like out of the crib. It's like, nah, just keep him in there. We leave all day. He's still in there. It's fine.
I'll say my favorite character is the bald principal enforcer guy. Clearly good. His same crusty attitude from 1955 to 1985. He's seen so much. The civil rights movement, man has landed on, the moon, and he doesn't give a shit. He is furious, and I respond to that. I respond to that very well.
He is consistent, if anything.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Max. My least favorite character is the Billy Zane character, because I didn't see any boats. I didn't see a single fucking boat. And he should be somewhere in the water, screaming, "I have a child," just stealing kids and throwing them onto the boats with him. So that's what I'm going to go with. That's what I think.
My favorite character is Marvin Berry.
Because that's what your cousins do whenever they call you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, naturally.
Yep. And then my least favorite, I gotta say George. George. I don't know how many times. I don't know how many times someone can tee a T-ball up for you, or baseball up on a tee for you. For you swing and miss before you just kind of got to eat it,
Especially him in that first scene where we see him and Biff is bullying him. That is rough to watch. He sucks in that. The actor's doing a good job. But
and then he starts laughing when they make fun of Marty, just so hopefully they'll just deflect. He's like, yeah, you suck. No, don't make fun of me. Jan?
My favorite's Marty, even though I wanted to hate him. My least favorite is the DeLorean. It's such a fucking piece of shit.
It is a piece of shit.
Such a piece of shit. Like, even back then, everyone knew this is a piece of shit. They didn't even paint it. True fact. They didn't even paint them. They just set them out in just raw metal. Like, that looks great.
Yeah, it's a refrigerator. Here you go.
This looks good.
Which actually was the original time machine for this movie. In the first draft was a refrigerator. And they're like,
Brutal.
we can't do that in a kids movie. Kids will be dying when they hide themselves in refrigerators. Which is why I think Spielberg uses it in Indiana Jones years later. I think he was just like, I'm getting my fridge. Finally.
Thank God. I'm getting this in here. Come hell or high water.
I'll say my favorite, like Marty, Michael J. Fox is just so effortlessly good in this movie, but I'll say Biff, because he's the bully that you love to hate. He's equally as funny in all three variations, from the balding jumpsuit, pathetic one, and the lean, football jock, or the business guy that has like his little shitty suit in the alternate 80s. And my least favorite's going to be the Shermanator looking dude who cut into the dance.
Okay.
God, amazing. God, he's so useless. He's so annoying. Like this guy's just cackling to himself, like he thinks this is like he's in on it. Like he knows this is like fucking up the universe, but he clearly doesn't. He's just a fucking loser. He's just like
What if? Yeah, that would be hilarious if that guy has his own like fucking Ford Pinto time machine, and he's like his whole thing is still like it's like no, I need the Mary Lorraine.
Yeah. Don't you understand? Otherwise, my whole family's going to disappear.
My kid created Tesla.
I think it's just funny that he knows Lorraine hates it. He's like getting a kick out of it. She hates me.
This is the best thing I've ever done.
Yep.
All right, time for the Hold My Popcorn ratings. Prepare to be judged. What's your rating for Back to the Future?
I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 stars on Pornhub.
Appropriate.
I'll give this one the sound of 10 eggs hit the frying pan.
I'm gonna give this 3 almost incests over 1. Thank you very much. Punch to the face that preserved this DNA structure of this family. That's what I think I'm gonna go with. Because otherwise, they're all just mutants. So.
I'll give this 1 shitty car built on cocaine out of 1 shitty family built on incest.
Clearly built on incest.
Yep. Drinking game, everybody. If it's not too late. We're still going to say incest another 15 times before the episode ends.
Incest. Quick.
I incest. Please. And Bill's got to give this 1 muted microphone out of 1 muted microphone because he's no longer there.
Yes.
He is having a parental crisis.
Yeah.
Air quote, his kids need to be, air quote, tucked into, air quote, bed.
You fools.
Get a life, Bill.
Yeah. All right. Any last words? Apparently not.
Incest.
I think we hit on the hot. I mean, the important topics. I mean, this movie. Listen, for all the stuff we talked about, this movie is an important sort of time capsule of its time. I think it's important, that people realize that in the 80s, incest was the thing.
It's very important.
Very important. Incest.
REDBUBBLE. Incest.
REDBUBBLE.
REDBUBBLE.
RedTube. You can probably find some incest stuff on RedTube.
Yep. All right. Well, that's the episode, and we'll be back next time with another futuristic time travel movie. Wonder what it's going to be.
Who knows? Ooh, spooky. It's a ghost movie, apparently. Yeah. Based on my impression I just did. It's a ghost movie. Instead of any kind of time
traveling ghosts. Which I guess they are time traveling because if you die, you're just, you're always going to be in that time. So,
well said.
All right. Incest. EB.
Oh, it's too late now,
who's
Bill.
Back.
Hi, Bill.
Yeah, we did all our rankings and shit because you had to attend to your children. I assume.
That is correct. He's still screaming up there. But you know what? That's his problem.
I wish we had a time machine so we could end this episode 1 minute earlier. So Bill would see a bunch of just empty calls on here.
Let me race back. They're all waiting for me. Boop, boop.
Nope, no, they're all gone. I'm glad they waited for me. What's your rating, Bill?
Yeah.
Movie's good.
Good rating. REDBUBBLE.
What a rating. Really blown out of the park with simplicity. Just boil it down to its essence.